Bonjour à tous et à toutes, on se retrouve dans une nouvelle vidéo sur Dragon Age de Veilguard pour une nouvelle mission qui s'intitule l'adversaire de mon adversaire. C'est parti pour la commencer. Alors là on est au phare, on va du coup monter à l'étage. On avait déjà fouillé le phare auparavant donc on n'a plus besoin de refouiller tout. Enfin je pense pas. Ah bah en fait si. Ok. Salle de méditation.
Nev or Harding must have put my pack here. Makes sense. Better place to sleep than the infirmary.
Regarde, on a même un
Guess I can
grand
spare a few
aquarium.
moments to unpack my things.
De la vie au phare. Déballer les affaires. Petit miroir de Varric.
Varric and his life lessons. I asked him how we were supposed to stop Solus, and he gave me this. Take a long, hard look in it, kid. It'll always show the face of a hero who can get it done.
What? Option de tatouage. C'est
A
bon.
damn good-looking hero, if I do say so.
Eh, on est optimiste, hein, nous? Mais pas trop narcissique.
Every time I look at this, I can hear that little girl thanking me for saving her village from Darkspawn. She said that since the Grey Wardens didn't have griffins anymore, I could have hers. If I hadn't been there, I'd never have met Varric. And never had to deal with the first warden complaining I ignored orders. I was so determined to save that village I couldn't wait for reinforcements. But if I'd failed, I'd have left a gap for Darkspawn to pour through and kill thousands.
Je trouve que c'était le meilleur choix à faire en vrai là.
Better at seeing the big picture.
Je sais pas si c'est un genre de choix qui peut impacter, je pense pas, mais voilà. Au moins ça c'est fait. Ok. Parchemin elfique ancien.
The peddler gave me this after I saved his caravan from bandits. He told me the scroll went back to even before Tevinter. Said that elves had a rich history, even more than the rest of us. He had fancy silks from Orlais, statuettes from the wilds down south. Oh, I could have listened to stories all night about places he'd been. Now I'm getting to see some of those places myself.
Ok. Il reste quoi? Ok. Le manuel de combat.
A meditation upon the use of blades. Must have read this thing cover to cover a dozen times during weapons training.
C'était dur mais utile.
Oh, the number of times I banged my head against this book trying to make the concepts work. But that training has kept me alive so far. Right. That's better. Now, how do I connect to Solus? Just sleep or...
Oh, regarde, t'as un beau canapé là.
relaxing. Maybe if I clear my mind...
Moi je dis t'as un beau canapé, tu fais un petit dodo et puis voilà.
Back so soon. It must have been worse than I had thought.
Hello, Dreadwolf.
Ah, but perhaps I am mistaken. You may be here to correct me, to tell me that my concerns were unfounded. I am, after all, remembered as the god of lies, treachery, and rebellion.
C'est souvenu de votre altercation. Oui, je me souviens.
Depending on the story.
And what story shall we tell now?
I need to know what the gods are planning.
You are asking for knowledge no mortal in this world is privy to. If I am to share it with you, I need to know what makes you the right person to lead the fight against Algernon and Gillenane.
J'ai la niaque.
I stopped you, didn't I?
You disrupted the ritual.
Yeah, I did. Even though I'm nowhere near as powerful as you.
Your plan is to tell me how powerful you aren't?
Back in the Grey Wardens,
Vous avez fermé que
I was
vous
with a group
meniez
of
l'équipe
recruits
parce que vous
outside this
réussissez toujours
village
contre
dealing
toute
with the
attente.
Darkspawn incursion. Our orders were to wait for reinforcements, but we knew that by the time they arrived, everyone in that village would be dead.
So you led your team of recruits in any way, collapsing the tunnel and saving the village.
How do you know that?
You helped Varric pursue me for the better part of a year. It would have been foolish not to learn about who was hunting me.
Then you know that powerful opposition doesn't frighten me. I find a way to get the job done, whatever it takes.
I suppose I was not so different when I started.
Started what?
My rebellion against the Evanuris. The elven gods, as you call them. They wish to reclaim their dominion over this world. To accomplish that, they will need two things. First, the Blight. What exists in this world is a bare fragment of its power. The rest is imprisoned, until they release it.
Plus. C'est pas échappé.
The Blight didn't escape with the gods?
Algernon and Gillenane escaped largely empty-handed, fortunately. Most of the Blight is still trapped in the prison I created ages ago.
So what we saw at the village, that's them not at full strength?
Correct.
Bah, on peut poser toutes les questions en fait. C'est pire ce qu'on voit.
The rest of the Blight is imprisoned? There's more than what's in the world already?
Yes. Centuries ago, the Magisters of Tevinter opened my prison. A tiny fragment of the Blight escaped. That fragment grew beneath the earth and led to the Blights that have swept across the world. However terrible the Blight is now, it is a mere fraction of what we will see if its full power is unleashed.
Pourquoi vicier le monde?
I don't understand. Elganon and Gillenane were elves like you, right? Why would they want to blight the world?
It is my fault. As the Dread Wolf, I was a thorn in their side. When my efforts weakened their grasp on the elven people, they grew frustrated, then desperate.
And turned to the Blight.
Once the corruption took hold of them, they were blind to its horror. It was just another source of power for them. Now they would blight the world without hesitation, and call us backward and foolish for opposing them.
On peut les arrêter?
But we can stop them from freeing the Blight, right?
They will need to pierce the veil to reach the Blight's prison. My Lyrium dagger is one of the few artifacts capable of doing so.
We've already recovered it from the ritual site.
Excellent. Then they will have to make their own. That will give you time.
You said the gods needed two things, and the Blight is the first? What's the second?
Followers. They have called themselves gods. And what is a god without worshippers to sing their praises?
I'm not gonna bend a knee to blighted, murdering monsters just because their ears are pointed like mine. I don't think many other elves are going to either.
Agreed. Algernon and Gillenane care little for the elves. They will find worshippers among those hungry for power. Tyrants and bullies. The cruel and the corrupt, who fear their own vulnerability and seize any chance to feel strong. If you hunt them, they will lead you to Algernon and Gillenane.
On va bien s'amuser, c'est un peu jeune. Oh, merci, on est gentils, nous.
Thank you. I'll go poke at the cruel and corrupt, and we'll see what we find.
The Veravas, the lighthouse Soluvian, can take you anywhere, if you master its secrets. Have you done so?
Not yet, but we've got one of the Veil Jumpers working on it. She'll get it sorted, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes. I suppose we will. And when you speak with Varric, please tell him that I regret what happened.
Ok. Sacrée discussion. Garde-robe. Oh bah il y en avait déjà une, non? Non? Ah, c'est vrai qu'on peut personnaliser tous les persos. Ok. Et il y a encore un truc là? En mode décoration? Ah sérieusement? C'est même pas une blague, il y a vraiment un truc de déco. Mort de rire. Parler à Varric.
So Solus told the truth about the gods.
You heard? It's bad, Varric. If you'd seen Demeter's crossing.
The team needs to act fast. And it can't do that with me leading from a bed. You've got to take point on this.
Je peux pas te remplacer.
I can't do what you do. I've barely been holding it together in the short time you've been out.
You don't need to do what I do. You just need to get it done. Rook, when I put this team together, what did I look for? A detective to find the Dreadwolf, and a scout to get us the lay of the land. Exactly the people he'd expect me to recruit. Disciplined, predictable. And then there's you. Remember when we first met, kid? I watched you lead a few misfit recruits and push back one of the biggest darkspawn hordes I've ever seen.
Just needed to find the right strategy.
And no other warden found it. You stopped that horde. Had to drop a town hall on it, but you've got a knack, kid.
For what?
Finding a way through the wildest shit I've ever seen. With a plan that no one expects. On the best day of his life, Solus wouldn't see you coming, Rook. And don't worry. I'll still be here to talk if you need me.
Plus. Voilà plusieurs de nef.
There is something. When I took over at the ritual site, I had to make a call on who came with me to knock over that statue. It was the first decision I made leading this team, and Nev got hurt because of it.
You made a decision with the best information you had. Sometimes you do that, and people end up hurt. Or worse.
What would you have done?
What would I have done? Probably gotten myself killed and failed to stop the ritual if you hadn't stepped in. A good leader isn't someone who never makes mistakes. It's someone who admits when they make one. That's how you earn their trust.
Waouh, il parle tellement bien.
Did Nev tell you about me talking to Solus and the Fade?
I had some good arguments with Chuckles back in the day. I can't imagine being stuck with him in my head. But how are you feeling about it?
Je m'inquiète.
He's the god of lies and he's inside my head, Varric. How do you think I feel about that?
Fair enough. But Nev's a great mage. If you need her to whip up a ward to keep him out of your mind, she can. But you haven't asked her to. Why not?
Solus is our best source of information about these elven gods. We can't stop them without what he knows.
So you're making the decision to keep talking with him?
Yeah.
You're making a choice. Stay careful, stay worried, but don't beat yourself up about doing what you have to do.
He also asked me to tell you that he regrets what happened. Hurting you, I mean.
Chuckles is sentimental. He could burn the world down, and the thing that would make him cry is a single flower with blackened petals.
Ok, dernière question. Enfin, oui.
Demeter's crossing was awful. While we were there, we found one survivor, the mayor.
You sent him to the wardens, right?
Not everyone was happy about my decision. We're just starting out and I'm already losing their trust.
The key to earning the team's trust isn't to only make decisions everyone agrees with. It's showing the team that they can tell you whatever's on their mind, even if they think you're full of crap. And know you'll listen.
See you later.
I'll let you get some rest.
You're gonna be fine, Rook. Hey, one last thing before you go. I've been racking my brain thinking of contacts who might help us with these gods.
You got any ideas?
Nothing. But being a leader isn't about having all the answers yourself. It's about knowing who does. Nev has connections to a whole world that Harding and I barely know. Might be worth talking to her.
Will do. Thanks, Varric.
Anytime.
Ok. Consultez l'équipe. Y'a rien. Atelier. Atelier de la vigie. Améliorer votre équipement pour augmenter ses statistiques. Ok. Renforcer l'atelier. Augmenter le nombre d'enchantements disponibles et la puissance de toutes les armes que vous trouvez ou achèterez. Ok. Ah ok, on peut même améliorer les trucs des équipiers, ok. Genre si je fais ça par exemple. Ça coûte quoi? Ça coûte 4 et 3. Ah ouais, quand même. Quand même. Et on peut l'améliorer qu'une fois? Ah attends, il y a marqué un truc. Avancer dans l'histoire pour débloquer, ok. Ça aussi. Ah ouais, ça va. Ok, on va pas trop t'améliorer, mais ok. C'est plutôt cool en vrai. Voilà. Moi on aura un peu plus de dégâts déjà. Changer de monument, sérieux. Allez, on va mettre le cerf. Elle a toujours des bleus.
Hey, Nev. Hi, Wisps.
Yeah, they're still here, but you're here for leads. You want allies to go after the gods? I've got places to look, if we can get anywhere but Arlathan.
Ballara's working on it. What have you got?
Let's start with the angles we know. The gods are corrupt magic personified. Who do we hire to fight that? First, the Antivan Crows.
You want to fight gods with assassins?
Not just any assassin, their most feared mage killer, the Demon of Virantium.
Le démon de viande.
Working with a feared mage killer doesn't bother you?
If he doesn't have a contract out on me, it's not a problem.
Ça m'intrigue.
Well, I'm sold. Now we charm the crows.
Fingers crossed. The demon got his nickname taking out blood mages and Venatori. From everything I've learned, the reputation was earned. I never uncovered his real name, and there's been fewer stories the last few years, but the crows would know. I can set a meeting with their bosses.
Fais-le. En mode, fais ton job. Moi, je fais le mien.
This is great. Thanks, Nev.
It's what I'm here for.
You said the crows were first. What's next?
A trip home.
Back to Minrathous.
Capital city and heart of Tevinter. An empire of mages that knows a thing or two about corrupt magic.
Tevinter authority.
Won't help and can't be trusted, which is why we talk to the Shadow Dragons. They're a resistance group that fights slavers, blood magic, and imperial corruption. They've got eyes and ears everywhere, including mine, If the gods enter the Empire, we might get something. Besides, I owe them an update.
Ce sont des mages.
Are they all mages?
Tevinter might prize its mages, but the Shadows accept anyone. We've all got a stake in the cause.
On peut leur faire confiance, tu dois... Ok. En vrai,
These
sympathique.
people sound great. I mean, if they're anything like you.
No one's as good as they seem, but they try.
So, we talk to the crows in Antiva and the shadow dragons in Mirathus.
I wouldn't mind checking in on my neighborhood either, if Balara's ready for us.
Yeah. Should check how things are going.
Et voilà. Quête terminée. On a même plusieurs quêtes là, on en a vraiment beaucoup. C'est où le mini-journal encore? Là, hop. Vous ne pouvez pas suivre une autre quête pendant la quête en cours. Ok, bon, on en a beaucoup à faire. Ok. Ah bah, en tout cas, j'espère que cette vidéo vous aura plu. N'hésitez pas à vous abonner à la chaîne pour plus de contenu de ce genre. Et moi, je vous dis à très bientôt dans d'autres vidéos. Allez, salut tout le monde.